Welcome to C-Suite Scale, where executive minds unpack the real stories behind business growth. Today, I am joined by Sterling Hughey over at Sterling Construction, who founded Sterling Construction. Welcome.
Yeah, hey Brenda, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it. Honored to be here.
Awesome. Yes, so honored to have you on the show today. Well, excited to just learn a little bit about you and your company. Talk to me a little bit about Sterling Construction and how you
Yeah,
started it.
so should I kick it off from the beginning and kind of,
Yeah.
take it okay. So I guess my construction vision started in high school. I was a rough kid around the edges and kind of marched to the beat of my own tune. And yeah, I ended up dropping out of high school in 11th grade, and so we go right to construction. That's where she all started. And yeah, I was a grunt worker and stuff, and then always had an ambition to kind of move on to things or move to another situation, I guess. And so yeah, we just moved on to the different levels of construction and worked my way up. And ultimately, we went to fast forwarding over to opening up an LLC. And so I ran my company out of my rental house. No capital, no money, have to earn it all, and I had no employees. And so best way to do it is just park shop in your living room. So I kind of transformed one of my rental houses into my office. And with that vision, I needed some help. And so the first thing first person to talk to is going to be your mom, right? Or somebody close. So yeah, I ended up having her work for me. 3 months later, there was a bunch of finger pointing and Sterling, you're not going to talk to me like that. And mom, I'm like, you're not moving fast enough. And so, yeah, we ended up parting ways, and I love her, and I'm actually going to take her on a trip to Florida within the next couple of months. So all is good. Love her, just don't love you in my business, mom.
I couldn't do it, that's for sure. But it's great that you had that support when you first started, which is absolutely critical. I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely a different path, but I almost feel like the path that forces you on, to kind of just sink or swim yourself is something that gives you more growth, and then you end up getting where you want to be quicker.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, the hard way is always the best way. That's gonna put some skin on your put some hair on your chest or take some hair off your head.
Yeah, one of the
Whatever way.
two.
Yeah, whatever.
You still have your full head of hair, so you're doing just great.
Yeah, it's a little light up there, but it's still hanging around. It's hanging on for dear life. I remember when some moments in my career that really took some off of my head. Brenda, yeah, to kind of pick up where we left off at that rate, I needed a ton of guidance, and all I knew was to be a doer. So whatever it was, do it. And most of that stuff was like handheld, so working with your hands, whether it's hooking up a trailer or unbooking a trailer or whatever the case may be. So I outreached, right, and I had to find some help. And so my first thing was to find a brick and mortar because, such as yourself, you say, "Hey, Sterling, where's your office at?" At that time, I was a super prideful guy, and so I had a lot of anxiety and pride issues with running my business out of my rental house. So I got my first brick and mortar. It had a staple facility for me and the company. And at that rate, Lee Haight was my first coach. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy. Lee Haight, yeah. So he owns RRCA, and he opened up Sky Diamonds University.
Yeah.
Um, if the guy had told me to eat shit off the ground, I would have did it. And that's how driven and just everything I was to grow. And so yeah, we ended up getting in those programs. I had a bill from him every month chasing my tail, and so that was enough fire underneath my ass. And plus all the commitment from the community on the group call and everything like that. You go around in a circle, and they're like, "Hey, did you do what you're supposed to do?" And you're put on spots. All that gravitated to pushing me forward and where I needed to go in business. And so, yeah, that what happened or the outcome with that was we started off with 2 employees and we had 18 at the end of year one. Yeah, yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, a
That's
lot
a
of
phenomenal first year.
a lot of fires in the a lot of fires in the in the house after that. But yeah, we scaled about like 4.3 million in the first year. Crazy growth, too much growth, a lot of chaos. For me, you know what? I coach and mentor a lot of business owners now and give advisory to them. because of everything I went through in such a short period of time. Like with that, and then the second year was more growth, and then the third year was like everything crashed and burned, and then building it back up again. It was a lot, bank accounts being negative $37,000 at times. 4 or 5 employees walking off on you in one week because you're not a leader, Sterling. You don't know how to coach people. You don't know how to build people up. Like that's a fucking skill. You don't just get taught that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta, or you just, excuse me, you don't just like magically have it, right? Cultivating, having, one-on-ones, powerful meetings with people, finding out what people's biggest fears are and turning those into their strengths, empowering your team, being a fierce leader, painting a vision, having a traction and organizer, creating an organizational chart. These are all the things that you don't learn all the time, so
Mhm.
um, fast forward and you start to develop these things. You figure out how you're failing over and over and over and over again, and what am I doing wrong? You start to identify that, and then you put people in place in your life to help you kind of open those doors. So they're all key holders.
Mhm.
They're all key holders, and then all your faults and all the things that people are leaving your company for. When you're trying your hardest, you just feel like you're giving it your all, but they're just leaving you. They're quitting on you. Your customers are saying, "I'm going somewhere else," and it's like you just don't have the skills to pay the bills yet. In easier terms. And so, yeah, you go to hard knock school. You go to some business schools. You get some mentors. You get coaches. You learn how to be a sales manager. I mean, I had 10 sales guys when I barely knew how to. All I knew how to do was hustle and bustle and sell myself.
Yeah.
And so how I got all that was because I work really fucking hard. And then you obtain the thing, but then you got to be able to keep it, right? And those attributes of being a true entrepreneur, not a solopreneur, is how you keep those, and a lot of other things too. So yeah, and now we're in Livonia, Michigan. We're working at like 8,500 square feet now. Got some pretty good talent here. Another thing that I dealt with in the past, and I hope this resonates with anybody listening to this stuff out here. I really pride myself on being real raw, open, and honest. Don't be embarrassed to talk about your losses, man, or your failures in business. I'm slowly getting away from using the word failure because it's either a win or a lesson. Um, I used to use fail forward a lot, right? Just you're gonna hit your head, but just fall forward. And
Yeah, I love that. Like I was always, I've been reframing that in my own head recently. It's only a failure if you stop right there. But if you keep going, then you have that opportunity to just learn from it and turn it around.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yep. And then you teach your team and use yourself in as an example. You're like a walking billboard for what to be like, right? And then you create models, and you're an example of what success looks like. And you're the culture king at that point. You create the culture. You build the moat, excuse me. And yeah, that's the service vehicle for success, and everybody's to get on board. There's only a certain amount of seats, right? And we only need A and B players. We don't want to see players. We don't want people hiding behind their KPIs or hiding in the walls or something like that, or in a certain desk behind the computer. We want everybody to be held accountable. And then you mold that culture with models and how you hold yourself, your standards, your core values. You hire for your core values, and that's a good fit for the company. And then you hire for the role based upon experiences in your top 5 job duties, right? If you can do these, and so you got your culture fit, your company fit rather, and then you have your seat fit, and then everything should be good after that. I mean, it's really on the leader. People out there, business owners out there, need to blame themselves a lot of times. I had a bad problem with blaming everybody else. Well, why did you leave, and why did you do that, and why didn't I set them up for success a lot more than I did? Why didn't I create a process so they didn't screw up X, Y, and Z? So yeah, I say all that to say I hope some of these key points are hitting and resonating with any of these listeners out here. You're not the only person that's went through it. Get through it and don't do it again. And keep moving on, man. So yeah,
Yeah, I love how you talk about just navigating through that with your grit because, I've seen so many companies when they start, they have a bomb first year and then second or third year is down and then they rebound, but you just explained how that rebound actually happens in real time because you have to really kind of face yourself almost.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You're your own worst enemy. Yeah, and it's called getting out of your own way. You're, I'll use another example that probably my best one to come to top of mind. But when people would come, I'd hire somebody, and if they had a skill set better than me, way too much ego. Why are you better than me in my own fucking company? You know, self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Drop the ego, yeah, I mean that was just really hindering my own business. I was self-sabotaging my business and stuff, right, because of one, ego, and then some other issues and problems and stuff along the way. But you begin to understand that you need to elevate people, build them up, give them more, essentially delegate, and then also obtain the decentralized command. So the command is all on the owner. You're in command, but you don't want to be in command. You want to command other people to take those responsibilities and then take ownership of them. Have those and having diligent conversations as well as, like, it might sound monotonous, but like, hey, Brenda, I'm going to give you this opportunity right here. You have ownership on this, right? Do you not? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So now we have understanding
Yeah.
that you have the and then you move on from there. But now fast forward, instead of me being the old version of myself, um, you have to be 10x better than me at whatever your role is. If I jump into your seat, you should be able to get me out of the way and tell me, no, this is how you do it, and do it better than me. And that's people we want on board. That's going to drive a business to success. You're going to hit your breaking points a lot faster.
That's phenomenal. And how many people have you scaled to this day?
Let me make sure I'm understanding this right. People that you developed in the business to
How big's your team?
my team. My team's only 8 people right now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's internally in the office. In the field, we can have anywhere from 12 to 60 guys working in a day. 60, that's a really it's very far and few between. Big on transparency and stuff. I don't want to exaggerate on anything. Like, people are like, "Oh my God, 60 guys!" Like, it's very, very few and often that we have 60 guys working. But yeah, 8 people in the office. Couple of examples, like our business development manager, he Michigan State graduate, computer engineer, worked for Red Bull corporate, ran a bunch of stuff. He's a fucking powerhouse. He's a business development manager. He's much better than me in a lot of things. Rick, our estimator, right over in the other room, he's worked for $400 million, construction companies doing estimating. Just a couple examples and stuff. And so, like, those are big boxes checked. So when you grow, you don't want to outgrow your team. You don't want the business to outgrow your team. They have to grow with the company, or
Yeah,
you're gonna have to let them go. And you
absolutely.
don't want to do that. And so, like, there's a breaking point, like between 1 to 3 million, and then you break, right? You rebuild your systems, you rebuild your team, and then you hit about 5 million. 5 million, you break again, right? And you're rebuilding processes. Your team expands a little bit. You get to about 10 million, and then you hit a shit ton of problems. You have a ton more of overhead. You break again, and then you rebuild, and you go up again. And that's scaling, right?
Yeah,
And scaling. So you want your team members to be on board as long as possible, because there's a certain level of expertise and problem solving skills, all the things, the characteristics of a true A player that need to just get carried on with the journey of the business. So, yeah.
for sure. So how do you go to scale then? Or sorry, go to market?
When you say go to market, break that down for me a little bit.
Yeah, no, all good. So basically, acquiring new clients and customers. I'm sure you have a great word of mouth happening within
Mm.
your city and town.
Yeah, yeah. So, God, there's so many different ways. I think that to kind of get a little granular, the days of just running some local service ads, or excuse me, just running some paid ads on Google, those days are dead. Those days are dead. You're gonna have to, like, max out your budget on there, or maximize it rather. You're gonna have to get creative. I'll just fire off a bunch of stuff that I do, and hopefully, again, if I'm not bringing value on this call, then there's no reason I need to be on here. And so, ready, fire, aim. If you have a golf outing, then you need to raise money for the golf outing. Do it all for free. but make sure you're strategic with picking the right golf outing. So all of your people, all the people that are on the golf outing, they're all potential clients. So you just gathered, well, you didn't even do it, right? But the golf event, the charity event, whatever it is, you just gathered all these people into one golf outing. You have a breeding pool of clients. And then you tell whoever's running the charity event, hey, listen, I'm going to do a putting contest. It's going to be $20 for 3 balls. Everybody comes around, pitches in the money. I'm not going to keep the money. I'm going to give the money to you for the charity. So I'm going to try to raise $1,000. But everybody who comes around, you get their business cards, you exchange information, make it fun, and they won't forget you. Like I've got huge opportunities out of that. Even other roofing owners, roofing company owners and stuff, they just specialize in commercial. All the other work, they give it right to us. It works. Another thing too, pitch and boost on your job sites. Pitching boosts and table covers and your blinds that come up and all the things at any event out there. Max it out. Even some of these really nice subdivisions, sit out there and have a couple kids. Like if there's like, you'll get a lot of culture activity if you bring in two kids that, like Sherry's kids that's in the front. Bring her out, bring them out there on the subdivision, pay them $20 for the day or something, whatever, and have them serve lemonade. And you got a Sterling Construction 10 out there. The marketing is just completely endless. I think if one of the biggest components is obviously referrals, you can use the Google platforms. Today I was in a neighborhood of a different area. A lady called me from a referral. She owns a garage door company. I popped in there just because I was in the neighborhood, gave her one of our Stanley Cups with this Sterling Construction sign, spent some time with her right there. Just a little reminder, hey, don't forget to refer us, and we'll do the same. I'm sure we'll get some business attracted from that. I just left lunch earlier with, so somebody got this is getting kind of long-winded, I'm going to wrap it up, but somebody got a botched roof. There was an inspector. He's a city official, but he started a side business as doing inspections for like botched work and everything that's going to court claims and everything. And so I'm like, I got this guy's number. He's probably dealing with a lot of these claims like this. We're going to help the client out, get a new roof on there, and then I'm going to take him out to lunch. So I took him out to lunch, and lo and behold, I got like a 24,000 square foot estimate out of it. And whatever else happens out of that. So you just always have to be opening doors. Like,
Yeah, always
or
on.
you could be the guy that just sits at the inspection report and sees that there's an inspector's name and number on there and not call him.
Yeah.
You're losing opportunity. So you just got to always be hunting. You have to be a hunter. You always have to be opening doors, building relationships, creating a systematic approach to keeping up with these people. There's an app called Dex. It's short for Rolodex, and you add notes in there and you add reminders in their birthday and stuff like that too. And so it's like, hey, I'm going to set a cadence of every 2 weeks. This person's going to pop up on my phone. I'm going to be able to reach out to them.
Hmm.
And so I'd say on average, I probably meet and build a relationship with like roughly 8 to 10 people a week. It's tough. It's tough to keep up on that stuff. So if you just keep it systematic, keep that approach in mind, things are a lot simpler and stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems to be integrated into who you are now. With
yeah,
every person you meet, you're always on.
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, so hopefully that helps to for the guys out there, or it might need to maybe it helps them reset their pace, right? People think they're grinding hard until they get next to somebody that's racing a little bit harder than them. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I lean into that all the time. Like you're making me want to do podcasts more. I need to step it up. So I'm leaning into it though. You gotta want to lean into it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. You just seem to have this like innate drive and passion that comes really from inside you that maybe not everybody has that internal drive like you
Yeah,
know have expressed on this podcast so far today.
yeah. Thanks, appreciate it, Brenda.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talk to me a little bit about how you're navigating these leads that are coming in. I mean, I'm sure there's times of the year that maybe after a hailstorm or something, you're maybe swamped or overwhelmed. So, how do you navigate through those situations?
That's a good question. So, I teach everybody how to sell in my company. Project manager sell, receptionist sell, offer manager sell, estimator sell, even the laborer sell. Um, that's how we do. That's how we. I guess that's not necessarily answer your question, but that's a portion of it. And so If you always have that mindset, even if it's a receptionist, she will be forward thinking to getting the business. And if it turns into a potential opportunity, hey, I can get somebody over to you right now. Don't worry about it. Just always having that forward thought process as far as like getting an opportunity, helping the client, making it into a multifaceted opportunity for the company. But yeah, the estimator does a lot of this stuff. Brian, my business development manager, brings in a lot of opportunities, helps to kickstart the opportunities and passes them off to somebody. We have sales reps that deal with these too. Like I have one sales rep that pretty much takes all my personal leads. Like my phone rings from people, and I'm not physically running out there running appointments and everything. I'm more so working on it, not in it. But he's fortunate enough to just get frisbeed all these type of opportunities, and he knows how to carry himself and take care of them because a lot of them are personal relationships or like years of referrals and stuff like that. So I think the bigger picture is for people to set themselves up where they replace themselves and to constantly be buying back your time. There's a fraction of how much time and how much money you're worth. So if you're worth $400 an hour, right? You need to figure out a list of things that you're doing that's $100 task, another list that's $25 an hour shit, and another thing that's $10 an hour shit. The $10 an hour stuff, you better never ever touch that. Figure out a process that you can give that to somebody else. The $25 an hour stuff, delegate that to somebody else. The $100 an hour stuff, give that to somebody else, incentivize them why they need to, pull out all the stops and make sure it's completed at a high level, and share some of the wealth. You can't take it with you. Incentivize people. Give them money.
Yeah. What speaks more than money?
What speaks more than money?
Yeah, I was playing on what you just said.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. That went over my head real quick. Yeah,
No, it's all good. It's all good.
yeah.
You're doing the right thing. You're on the right path, is where I'm going with that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And so, how, as far as technology, it seems like you're really always just ahead of the curve. How have you implemented AI solutions and just the AI boom into your company right now?
I wish I would have grabbed a bottle of water. I don't have anything. Yeah. So I'll hit you with um, I guess maybe more the more granular approaches to that. So let's just say for example, the comes through, they don't answer. I have two AI numbers that are calling them back to back simultaneously. Well, not simultaneously, but within like 10 minutes of each other. If one answers, the other call drops off. It doesn't call them anymore. Right after that, it triggers them with two different text messages from two different numbers that text them, hey, we received an inquiry from you, blah, blah, blah. We do a lot of outbound outreach, so we have a software system that pulls, let's say, probably 30,000, yeah, about 20,000 apartment buildings and condos, and we just download all the data, drop it into Tele AI. Actually, just got off the phone with the owner not too long ago. He lives out of Michigan, based out of Michigan. So cool relationship with him and stuff. He helps out a lot. But anyway, yeah. So we dump in a bunch of data. It does a ton of outreach. As soon as it reaches a human, it's prompted to pretty much get business out of them. In short, right? They're very detailed prompts, but if it clicks, if the person selects one, they're prompted to select one or two. If they select one, it gets transferred over to a live agent, which is somebody in the front desk, and then they get either a vendor packet filled out, they get an RFQ, RFP, or on a bid list of some sort. RFQ, for those people out there, is a request for quote. If you're a contractor, you better know that. And then yeah, there's our cadence to configuration, I guess. There's a better word for it the team came up with, but our AI reaches out to all of our closed jobs. So any job that's been closed out completely, making sure that they had a great experience, taking a survey, email that over to them. It's just a few questions on what we can work on better to be better as a company, improve on. It sends over a Google review. Here's a little hack. It sends out 5 stars. If it selects star 1 or 2, it opens up a form field to leave a feedback question or feedback response. And then if it's 3, 4, 5, then a Google review platform actually pops up to leave a legitimate review. So we try to bypass some of those bad stars. We're gonna get them once in a while. We're a human company again. Let's be real and raw here, right? Thank God we have like 350-ish reviews, I think, and we got a 4.9 or 4.8. So
That's winning.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
we're doing something right. But yeah, a lot of SMS, a lot of triggers. So as the jobs move through the milestones and sub milestones, you select a milestone and it sends out a text and an email, and lets them know when their dumpster was scheduled, when their materials were picked up, uh, those kind of things. As far as AI, what else we're doing? We're doing a lot of Zapier backlinks. So you familiar with Zapier? Yeah, yeah. So we're bridging a lot of different systems and stuff like that. And then I think that's most of it. I think that's most of it. Yeah. hmm mm Yeah, that's really it. Weekends we have, and then we have Kira. She does all our social media platforms are all tied into one, and Kira is the one that auto responds right away. But she's become to be very smart within the last couple of months. So she's had a lot of prompting and a lot of training, dropping a ton of PDF documents in there and stuff like that. So she's pretty wise now. I'm proud of her.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the AI tools that you've implemented because I still feel like within the industry, there's still an opportunity, massive opportunity for people to, get to the stage that you're at. So, how did you go about taking the initiative to be able to understand what you needed to implement and how to do it?
Mm, that's kind of I think a lot of things come from pain in the past. When the recession hit, I didn't capitalize on real estate, and the what was it? The employee retention credit. I fucking missed out on that one too, and I was like, dude, I will never be in this seat again. And so I was always gonna be with the times before they rolled over me, so to speak. And so if it's something new, I'm diving right into it. I'm in these like nerdy like chat groups and stuff, and I just like let the feeds just do their thing, so I can just pick up on anything new that's coming out. So all the Manus AIs like ChatGPT on steroids. I want to give a shout out to my business partner Mike. You're the man. I love you, bro. Not in construction. It's another JV joint venture. Um, but yeah, just leaning into everything that's new, essentially. Yeah, just to really keep it simple. There's no like crazy hacks or any like we're not meditating on the corner of our bed or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so just really just keeping up with the times before they roll over you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you've really done a lot to stay sharp. And I guess if you could speak to the version of you 2 years ago, what would you be saying to that person?
That's a good question, and I have just the answer. So, Sterling, the first thing I'm going to need you to do is find 1 to 2 people that are in the place that you want to be or who you want to be like, and just put yourself around as much as possible. Go spend some money on it. Take them out to a dinner. Be genuine. Be a student, and figure out how you can provide value for them, just as much as you're going to be pulling information out of them. Soak it up, man, and apply it. So, and looking to purchasing a coach. I mean, that's really it. Yeah, those things right there, like the sky's the limit. So yeah, learn how to delegate. It's tough. It's tough, especially just to expand on that a little bit, Brendan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to expand on it a little bit, like, people talk about delegation and delegate and all this other stuff. Like, dude, it's mental head trash. You don't know what the hell we're going through when you say delegate. This thing that I've been working on forever, ever. You want me to just give it to somebody else? What?
Right.
So it's a lot of talking to ourselves and mental challenges and getting over the head adversities and being actually able to do that. It's God, man, it's tough. So I've overcome some mental hurdles myself in the past, and I constantly fight with myself too when I really want to like go into somebody's office and ask them where are we at with this, what are we doing here, like where is this? I'm just like leave them alone, just don't mess with them, don't mess with them.
Yeah, lots of growth there. I can imagine how hard that is. It's your baby, you built it from scratch, day
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's tough. So, but we've been doing good. So,
Great. Well, so happy for you.
thank
What
you.
excites you for the rest of 2025?
I would say probably number one, my team and seeing them develop. Yeah, it's kind of they're I don't have any children, and I think everybody on the team except for one person, they all have kids. They're all married, all the things. So they're grown folks, as I like to say, but they're kind of like babies. They're my babies in a way,
Yeah, yeah.
and it comes from like just purely a developmental standpoint. Like they're here, right? And then you work on them. You're talking about like I even get granular as far as like some of their things in their personal life for this purpose. The purpose is if your like your personal life's in shambles and in shit, you're gonna come to work with shit, you know. And so when I've seen the impact of caring about somebody in their personal life. Not too much, not too much. I'm not a therapist, but I want to help you get better as a person genuinely, right? And I've seen people come here that were come to find out they had pretty crazy shit going on in their life, and we work through it together, and they're confident, they're better, they're working out, they're looking better, all the things. So, and they're doing better at their job. So,
That
um,
is so rewarding, I can imagine.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you have to be careful though. I used to pour way more energy into a person than they were putting into their job. And, I was like, I'm not doing something right, right? So I needed to get with a couple leadership coaches and find out their methodologies um, of how they pour into people and stuff. And so, like, I have a different approach and there's a good gauge on it. So I was telling them, like, I'm not going to give you more than you're going to give yourself. And
Hmm.
I only need 80% out of you, but I need it consistent all the way across the board, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you 100%.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But, it sounds like your expectations are realistic and, the team that you have in place right now seems to be rising to it.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's things are good. I would say the only thing I would look forward to in 2026 is or 2025, excuse me, one year ahead of us. Um, I don't know, just seeing people win. I just want to see people win and flourish and um, just create that next version of themselves. That's really it.
Solid, solid.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, where can people reach out to you if they want to learn more about Sterling Construction or even connect with you and learn some of your additional tips and tricks?
Yeah, yeah. Instagram panhandle. You can reach me at Sterling underscore construction. Facebook, I think, is pretty much the same thing. You can even call me. Shit, my phone number is 734-626-2908. Email address is sterling@sterlingconst.com.
Awesome, everyone. Sterling over in Detroit, Michigan. Go find him.
Yeah,
All
well,
right. Well, thank you so much, Sterling, for being such a great guest on the show today. I really appreciate you and your insights and just keeping it raw, as you mentioned.
appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me on, and I'm sure that I'm looking forward to seeing you on like whatever platforms, maybe LinkedIn, social medias, and stuff like that, because your podcast is growing, and you know, um, I just feel like a lot of energy is coming through the screen right now. Of just you just taking off with this thing. So yeah, really excited for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sterling.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.